This week, we settle into Antigua and pick up some friends for a week-long visit. We immediately put them to work, then actually do some fun things. We head north for a short trip to Barbuda, where we experience some of the gems this island has to offer. We also discover Chris has questionable taste when it comes to snorkeling attire.
'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh.
We made it to Antigua and we rested up and restocked in Jolly Harbor for a couple of days. But we needed to make tracks to Falmouth Harbor to meet up with our first boat guests of the season. Falmouth is relatively large and it has some great wind, so there is always activity going on with sailing schools and wing foilers. There are also massive yachts coming and going. This is also a symphony, just a bit longer than ours, measuring 331 feet.
Paddle, paddle!
Why does the dinghy hate me?
Well, you gotta be more efficient with your paddling.
After a couple days of kicking around, our friends flew in and we went to pick them up at the dock.
What's up, Cavins?
Hey, how are you?
We went around the corner to Carlisle Bay. It's a beautiful, calm anchorage with really clear water. So we took advantage and proceeded to clean the bottom of the boat.
Will, look at me. Give me a wave.
The bottom was pretty gross.
I don't know why that would slow the boat down.
I don't know, I'm collecting some for dinner.
We ended up paddleboarding around the bay a little bit. It was perfect for it.
So I'm out here paddleboarding and I wonder where Chris is. That is the brightest shirt I've ever seen.
This shirt really ended up defining Chris during his visit with us.
I lost you against the rocks over there. You were blending in.
Well, the joke
That
is
shirt's super camo.
I'm not very good at any water sports, so I've got to be heavily identifiable.
Carlisle was a great first stop, but there was so much more to see here.
Pretty good, huh?
The height, the beach.
Cades Reef, CAD water.
Here's the next step.
All right, we are in Cades Reef, which is on the south end of Antigua, just around the corner from Falmouth Harbor. It's this reef just off the coast, maybe, I don't know, 1,000 yards off the coast, and you can sail up into the middle of it and anchor. So it's super calm. It looks like the reef is quite big and a great area to explore. It goes all the way along here. So we're gonna go jump in and check it all out. This looks a lot like Belize. Hopefully the sea life underneath is like that. Even if it isn't, it'll still be fun.
A lot of fish here. It was pretty teeming in some spots. several spots, there were groups of different fish cleaning together. This is a squirrelfish. Those big black eyes are helpful when it feeds at night. Check out how his spines went up when I got close. He definitely did not want me to be there.
All right, well, that turned out to be a great snorkel. The reef's a little dead, you know, between us and the reef. And then as you get deeper into it and you go up some of the channels, you'll find quite a bit of life in there. Some good fish, some fish I'd never seen before. So definitely worth a stop and real easy. We're anchored. I'll put a link in the description exactly where we anchored, because it's really nice sand and grass right underneath where we anchored. So you hold really well. There's some mooring balls in here. Don't tie up to those. Those are for the commercial operations, the day, you know, the party boats and that kind of stuff. But there's plenty of room in here. There's 4 boats in here, and you could probably fit another 4 or 5 if you really wanted to. So definitely check it out. Cades Reef, South Antigua.
After Cades Reef, we headed back up to Jolly Harbor to stage for a trip to Barbuda the next day. By the way, locals tell me it is pronounced Barbuda. The internet told me different, so I pronounced it wrong in other parts of the video. We pulled up anchor at sunrise so we would have good light where we were going. We were going to have to visually navigate. Chris and Christy wanted to do all the sailing stuff. They are learning for their own sailing adventures in the future.
In Miami, like we were heading. 11 has a new sensor. So we're in between Antigua and Barbuda, and Seascape was up there with some of their friends, and they're coming back, and we're gonna cross in the middle. So we're gonna try to make a super close pass next to each other. This is like the world's slowest game of chicken.
So close to somebody.
Hello! Woo! Seascape!
Hi, Shane.
Our destination was Gravener's Bay on the very southeast corner of Barbuda. There are a lot of large coral heads here that you have to navigate around to get to a good anchoring spot. Chris and Christy did the honors again on anchor, and then we just had to take in one of the prettiest anchorages we've seen yet. These coral heads were really fun to just swim up to and circle. Each head was very alive with lots of soft and hard corals along with abundant plant life. There were plenty of fish too. William pointed out this ray digging into the sand. It was so cool. Now I want to point out Chris's outfit here. He took the orange shirt from the first day and managed to pair it up with some shorts. Check out how the boat was glowing orange from it.
I mean, you kind of have to have high vis when you're snorkeling, right?
It was pretty striking, and it made it easy to find him even from above. I'm not sure what he was doing here. He said it was really shallow. Even from 500 feet up, he was easy to pick out. If I remember one thing from this visit, it will always be Chris's keen fashion sense that was on display that day. This anchorage was truly stunning, and it was difficult to think we should go anywhere else after a day like this. Barbuda is just beautiful. The next day, we headed ashore for some on-land exploring.
apple water that I'm not sharing with you.
Absolutely.
We hired a local guide, Imram, to take us to a couple of spots.
The burgers are nice, yeah.
Barbuda is not like other Caribbean islands. It's limestone and fairly flat, sort of like the Bahamas. It also sort of looked like Central Texas. There are wild horses here, left over from the old plantation days. Check out this guy's shoes. We should have bought them to complete Chris's ensemble. We were at the government dock to catch a boat to the frigate bird sanctuary. This is Imram. He was awesome.
How you doing?
And his boat was awesome too. It didn't take long to get to the island where all the frigate birds hang out. We went to the area where all the babies are hanging out. They are the little white ones looking around and waiting for food. The camera just doesn't do this place justice. There was a massive number of birds in the air and in the mangroves. The fledglings spent most of their time calling for food. Imram was a great guide and had a wealth of information to share. He also watches sailing videos on YouTube, so if you're watching, thanks for the trip. We were at the tail end of mating season, so there were one or two males still there puffing out their red balloons below their beaks. They made a really cool sound.
You could get some lead.
After we'd seen our fill, we headed across the lagoon to the pink sand beach. The girls collected a little sand and then it was time to head back. This place was just so beautiful. After that adventure, we hit the road. I couldn't help thinking about home. This place reminds me a lot of what we left behind in Texas. It's hot and dry, but there are beautiful gems hidden everywhere. Imam took us up to 2 Feet Beach. He said it's named that because you used to have to use your own 2 feet to get there. The limestone forms cliffs here that are about 150 feet above the ocean. We walked down the beach a ways, then turned up towards the cliffs on a path. The path took us into a small cave, and there was an opening on the other side. We scrambled through it, and popped out the other side. From there, it was a short walk to the edge of the 150-foot cliff. Barbuda was an incredible place to visit, and I hope we can come back and explore more here next year. Unfortunately, the weather was closing in on us, so we had to head back to Antigua. We set sail the next morning and had great wind to push us all the way back to Antigua. We had a lot more exploring to do before our friends left us. Thanks for watching. It's always fun to share our adventures. If you want to see more of what we're up to in real time, follow us on Instagram. Thanks again for watching, and tune in next week as we continue our journey in Antigua.